After the events of Revenge of the Sith, Darth Vader, newly reborn as a cyborg warrior, was left with only suffering and pain in his existence. As a Sith Lord, his journey had only just begun. He had much to learn of the dark side as the apprentice of Darth Sidious, who now ruled the galaxy as Emperor. We know that there is a 19-year gap between episodes 3 and 4, and there are plenty of stories filling that time period. Luckily, the Canon 2017 Darth Vader comic series picks up immediately during the end of Revenge of the Sith, as Vader awoke in his armor, and tells us what his first mission was right after the film. The comic actually features an opening crawl that sets the stage perfectly, so let's jump right into it. The Clone Wars are over. The Jedi are defeated. Palpatine has become Emperor, finally in position to bend the galaxy to his will through the power of the Sith. Jedi Knight Anakin Skywalker has fallen to the dark side of the Force. Swayed by Palpatine's promise to help prevent the death of his wife, Padme, Skywalker betrayed the Jedi and became the Sith Lord Darth Vader. Defeated by his old friend and former master Obi-Wan Kenobi, Vader was left to die on the volcanic planet Mustafar. Retrieved by Palpatine and placed into a suit of cybernetic armor to preserve his life, Vader awakens to learn that his wife has died. Now, for Darth Vader, there is only rage, pain, and the new galactic empire. Enraged at the news of Padme's death, Vader reached out with the Force to crush the medical droids that had just rebuilt him. But he didn't stop there, also pushing his master into the wall with his power as he yelled in his rage. Vader, still holding Palpatine against the wall with the Force, said that he had promised to save Padme from death. Palpatine replied that in his rage, Vader had chosen a different path. Padme was dead, and even the power of the dark side could not resurrect her. But in her death, Palpatine said, she had given Vader a gift: pain. He told Vader that he needed to choose whether he would accept that pain and use it, or whether he would die. After a brief pause, Vader replied that he would live, setting Palpatine back down to the floor. Palpatine was pleased, but he quickly unleashed a torrent of Force lightning on Vader, causing him to scream in pain. He taunted Vader, asking where his lightsaber was, commanding Vader to defend himself. Still enduring the lightning, Vader gasped that he had lost his saber in the fight with Obi-Wan on Mustafar, but Palpatine screamed back at him that that blade had belonged to a Jedi, and Vader was a Sith. He ignited his own red blade and held it to Vader's throat. He told Vader that if he ever touched him with the Force again, he would finish what Kenobi could not. Then Palpatine stressed the needs of the new Empire and instructed Vader to follow him. Together, they watched a large public ceremony on the steps of the Jedi Temple, and Palpatine asked Vader if he knew why the Sith wielded red blades. This is where we were first introduced to the new canon lore surrounding kyber crystals and how they're bled to turn red. As Mas Amida and clone troopers began to dump the lightsabers of dead Jedi into a large furnace before the crowd, Palpatine explained that the crystal from any Jedi's lightsaber would work. Since the kyber crystals were somewhat alive and could feel pain, Vader needed to pour his own pain into it through the dark side, until the agony became too much for the crystal to withstand and it turned bright crimson, the color of a Sith Lord's rage. As the dozens of Jedi lightsabers were destroyed in front of them, Vader understood the true lesson his master was giving. Palpatine could have given him any one of those lightsabers to bleed, but he hadn't. The saber of a Sith Lord was not given, it had to be taken. Palpatine tasked Vader with seeking out a Jedi and taking their kyber crystal, which he admitted was a daunting task given how they had just killed most of the Jedi in the galaxy. Palpatine assured him that he had high hopes for the work they would do together for the new Empire, but before that could begin, Vader would need his lightsaber. He left Vader on a remote world in the Mid-Rim and instructed him to follow his heart, to embrace the dark side, and it would provide him with everything he needed for his mission. Sometime later, Vader, using a ship that Palpatine had provided for him, ventured out to a former Jedi outpost called Brightholm. Inside the outpost, clone troopers stationed there played with various lightsabers and other Jedi artifacts they had been assigned to take inventory of. Suddenly, the clones were made aware of Vader's incoming vessel. Hailing the unidentified ship, the clones told Vader that he was entering restricted space, and he would be fired upon if he did not change course. Although Vader's droid possessed access codes that could have ended the hostility immediately, Vader was eager to test his piloting skills and intentionally engaged the clones in combat. Using the Force, Vader easily outmaneuvered and slaughtered the clone pilots. He could sense their fear and their pain and was far more skilled than they were. Inside the outpost, the clone troopers watching the fight were shocked to see that Vader had managed to defeat every ship without taking a single hit. They remarked how the unidentified pilot was flying like a Jedi, and that whoever he was, he had managed to deactivate the station's security protocols, meaning he was about to board. Scrambling to meet the intruder, the clones prepared for a fight. Using the Force, Vader met the clones in a hallway as he ripped through one of the doors. Although he held his own without a lightsaber, one blaster bolt managed to strike his shoulder. Pinned down by their fire, Vader used a nearby crate to crush some of the troopers with the Force, and summoned a lightsaber from the wall. As he ignited the green blade, the clones called him a Jedi, though they thought that all of them had been killed in Order 66. Easily, Vader slaughtered the clones. When he was done, he discarded the Jedi weapon and proceeded deeper into the outpost. Accessing the station's computer, Vader searched for information regarding all Jedi assignments before the execution of Order 66. He was specifically searching for any Jedi who took the bearish vow prior to the Purge. Since Vader had to take the Kyber crystal of a living Jedi, he believed that a taker of the bearish vow seemed the easiest route. Any Jedi who had taken the vow had sworn to refrain from activities related to the Order, complete disengagement from anything but the Force. It was a type of penance, almost an exile. Any taker of the bearish vow would have felt the purge through the Force, but they would not have been able to respond to it or take action of any kind. Thus, Vader believed they would likely still be alive. From the archives of the station, Vader was able to find one Jedi named Karak Infilla. Infilla was a unique Jedi who had not taken part in diplomacy, training, or research when he was active in the Jedi Order. His only purpose in the Order was to fight, meaning he was a master of combat. Infilla lived on the river moon of Alulim in the Mid-Rim, and Vader found him there quickly. The two crossed paths as Vader searched for him, feeling his presence in the Force. From a clifftop, Karak confronted Vader, noting that the Dark Warrior stunk of darkness. Immediately, Vader tried to choke Karak with the Force, even from a great distance. After a moment of struggling, Karak was able to push Vader away and break his hold. He told Vader that he would not defeat him that way, if at all. Karak said that not long before, he had felt the death of almost every Jedi, and asked Vader if he was the one who had killed them. The Sith Lord replied that he was, and that he had come to kill Karak as well. Karak took the moment to explain that he declared his bearish vow complete, since his fellow Jedi were dead and their murderers stood before him. He told Vader that he would wait for him at the summit of the mountain. Ascending the mountain, Vader faced many traps and tests that the Jedi had set, becoming damaged in the process as Karak watched him from above, trying to determine whether he was a Sith or something else entirely. However, Karak instructed his droid to deactivate all the traps, intending to engage Vader in combat. On the steps of the summit, the two met, and Karak ignited his lightsaber. Vader quickly attacked him with boulders thrown with telekinesis, sending the Jedi flying backward. Karak's droid, wielding a purple electro staff, attacked Vader, but he easily ripped the droid in half with his bare hands. Now wielding the electro blade, Vader clashed with Karak, who sensed that Vader had come not only to kill him, but to take his lightsaber. As they fought, Karak asked how Vader could have killed the Jedi when he was so weak, and realized that Vader must have a Sith master. He managed to break off one of Vader's cybernetic legs, and told the Sith Lord that once he was dead, he would seek out his master and destroy the Sith once and for all. Then he would restore the light of the Jedi to the galaxy. Kirak then threw Vader from the top of the mountain with the Force, where he landed in a heap, broken and beaten. Kirak believed that Vader was dead. Weakly reaching out with the Force, Vader noticed Kirak's broken droid laying nearby, and he used telekinesis to take pieces of scrap from the droid's remains in order to repair his cybernetics. Vader took one of the droid's legs to replace the one he had lost, and then rose to search for the Jedi once again. Meanwhile, Kirak traveled to nearby Ambalar City. He met with a local family that were his friends, who had also stored his Jedi fighter for him. Kirak told them of his plans to destroy the Sith and restore the Jedi Order, when he suddenly felt Vader's dark presence in the Force. He rushed outside to see Vader beckoning him atop the city's large dam. The Jedi leapt to meet him, and the two crossed blades again. City guards attempted to stop them from fighting, but Vader threw them off the edge of the dam. Kirak was determined to save them, and he lowered them down to safety with the Force. Eager to exploit the Jedi's desire to keep the locals safe, Vader reached out and began to destroy the dam as Kirak tried to stop him. Kirak attempted to hold the infrastructure together, and he told Vader that their fight was about the Jedi and the Sith and had nothing to do with the people of the city, begging Vader to spare them. However, as Kirak was focused on the dam, Vader took his lightsaber with the Force and said that of course their fight was about the people. He began to choke Kirak, holding him off the edge of the dam, as Kirak begged him to spare the lives of the city's citizens. As the dam below exploded, Vader broke Kirak's neck and then dropped his body into the disaster below. As the city washed away, Vader admired the lightsaber he had successfully taken. Later, in hyperspace, Vader watched a pre-recorded hologram of Palpatine. It explained that the droid on the ship was instructed to take control of the ship once Vader obtained a Jedi lightsaber and take him to his final destination, selected by Palpatine. The ship took Vader to Mustafar. The recording explained that deep beneath the surface of Mustafar lay a locus for the dark side of the Force. Thus, from the site of Vader's greatest defeat, he would reclaim himself and rise up as a powerful Sith Lord. Palpatine instructed Vader to find the place where the dark side called to him, to draw upon the energy he found there to combine its power with his own, and then use it to corrupt the Kyber crystal and make it bleed. Down on the surface of Mustafar, Vader found a cave. Inside, he disassembled Kirak's lightsaber hilt and removed the green Kyber crystal. Vader focused on it with the Force, and it began to emit a loud hum as he struggled with it. Suddenly, a blast of energy sent him sprawling backward into the cave wall, and his eyes returned to their natural blue color as he wondered aloud what he had done. Regaining his composure, Vader took the crystal and reassembled the saber. He returned to the Emperor on Coruscant, who asked to see his blade. Vader ignited the saber, showing the green blade, and Palpatine gathered that his apprentice had made his decision. He leapt at Vader, and their blades clashed in a violent duel. Palpatine remarked how Vader had chosen weakness, which was such a waste. However, Vader was able to strike him down, leaving him lying dead in his office. Sometime later, he then found Obi-Wan hiding on a remote world. Vader removed his helmet and knelt before his former master, begging him to kill him. Suddenly, Vader awoke from his vision, his eyes still yellow with the power of the dark side. It had only been a dream, brought about by the crystal in an attempt to stop the darkness. Rising and grabbing the crystal in his fist, Vader said that he refused redemption. Thinking of all his pain, all his failures, everything that had happened to him, Vader focused the dark side on the crystal, as torrents of energy exploded from between his fingers. He thought of his mother, of Padme, and of Palpatine, and screamed in pain as he bled the crystal. Sometime later, still battered and broken with his repaired cybernetics, Vader appeared before Palpatine, igniting the crimson blade of his new lightsaber, and calling him Master, as Palpatine smiled with dark pleasure. Thank you guys for watching this video. I hope that you enjoyed it. Make sure to like and subscribe if you did. And as always, may the Force be with you.